There was no avian fluttering of the lashes, no gentle blink toward consciousness. The awakening was mechanical, a spooky ventriloquist dummy click of the lids. The world is black and then showtime. 6:00, the clock said, and my first thing I saw, 6:00. It felt different. I rarely woke at such a rounded time. I was a man of ratchet racings. 8:43, 11:51, 9:26. My life was alarmless. At that exact moment, 6:00, the sun climbed over the skyline of oaks, revealing its full summer, angry god self. Its reflection flared across the river toward our house, a long, blaring finger aimed at me through frail bedroom curtains, accusing, "You have been seen. You will be seen." I wallowed in bed. Which was our New York bed in our new house, which we still called the new house, even though we'd been back here for 2 years. It's a rented house right now, the Mississippi River, a house that screams suburban nouveau riche, the kind of place I aspired to as a kid from my split-level, shag carpet side of town, the kind of house that is immediately familiar, a generically grand and challenging new house that my wife would and did detest. Sit. Should I remove my soul before I come inside? Her first line upon arrival. It had been a compromise. Amy demanded we rent, not buy, in my little Missouri hometown, in her firm hope that we wouldn't be stuck here long. But the only houses for rent were clustered in this Ville development, a miniature ghost town of bank-owned, recession-busted, price-reduced mansions, a neighborhood that closed before it ever opened. It was a compromise, but Amy didn't see it that way, not in the least. To Amy, it was a punishing whim on my part, a nasty, selfish twist of the knife. I would drag her, caveman style, to a town she had aggressively avoided, and make her live in the kind of house she used to mock. I suppose it's not a compromise if only one of you consider it such, but that was what our compromises tended to look like. One of us was always angry, Amy, usually. Do not blame me for this particular grievance, Amy. The Missouri grievance. Blame the economy. Blame bad luck. Blame my parents. Blame your parents. Blame the internet. Blame people who use the internet. I used to be a writer. I was a writer who wrote about TV and movies and books, back when people read things on paper, back when anyone cared about what I thought. I'd arrive in New York in the late 90s, the last gasp of the glory days, although no one knew it then. New York was packed with writers, real writers, because there were magazines, real magazines, loads of them. This was back when the internet was still some exotic pet kept in the corner possessed, even as a child. Ko's voice was warm and crinkly, even as she gave this cold news. Our indomitable mother was dying. Our dad was nearly gone. His nasty mind, his miserable heart, both murky as he meandered toward the great gray beyond. But it looked like our mother would beat him there. About 6 months, maybe a year she had. I could tell that Go had gone to meet with the doctor by herself, taking her studious notes in her slovenly handwriting, and she was teary as she tried to decipher what she had written. Dates and doses. Well, fuck. I have no idea what this says. Is it a 9? Does that even make sense? She said, as I interrupted. Where was the task? A purpose held out on my sister's